Yeah, well, we are all part of the whole planet, and biodiversity tells us something about interdependency between all species and all sources available on the planet. And it is very important that you are aware that we are all a minor element in a complex system of interdependencies between animals, plants, water, soil, air, etc., etc. So it is very important to realize that we have to be very careful. We lose already a lot of species. We lost already in the years before us. So that's also a way of thinking. Be aware that you are part of a bigger plan, if we may say so, of a bigger story. And that's also for companies very important. Which means that you always have to take into account other elements which are outside your company, not in your own value chain, but outside your company. An element in this debate is also give these abstract items, which I'm talking about now, give them also a price. So one of the issues that we are ahead is that we are talking about is monetizing species, environmental pressure, etc., etc. So I should like to suggest that a step for the company can be not only be aware of that you are part of a complex system, that's one thing, but also start thinking about the value.
To give an illustration with what we are doing today, you know, in our green care products, for example, we are using palm kernel oil. And I was reading in one of your, let's say, redactions that you say, yeah, also palm kernel oil, you know, we have to buy it through certified book and claim standards. What we are doing today. So at least, no, we are paying back for some sustainable agriculture in the country of origin. To be honest, we are not 100% happy with it because we are very much aware that in Asia, that probably, you know, even that we don't use oil for the foodstuff, but that somewhere some farmers probably are going to burn some rainwood to have some foodstuff. So I don't know if you are aware, but that we have taken an initiative as Werner and Merz already a few years ago to look around us in Europe and to say, what vegetable rows can we find in our own garden? I can say the rapeseed we came over a lot of hurdles because when you use rapeseed, it's rancid, it stinks most of the time, it's not stable, and our customers, they are not shaking the product, they don't want to shake it before using it. So those guys, they managed, and we will bring, let's say, in the coming months, 10 products where we already mix the rapeseed together
from Europe,
with,
and reduce your footprint in the whole chain.
And I can tell you, we go further than certified, because there we can follow up to the field where the rapeseed is growing.
And there's also the other challenge to escape or to reduce the dependency from the big monocultures like pine trees, especially for our business. And of course we know this. And we are actively working to use on the basis of European plant oils for the production of our surfactants, because we believe we can be faster on this way in the first step to reduce the dependency than to take algae oil. And in order to ensure that the production of renewable materials will be done in the right manner, it's far more easier to let the plants grow in front of our doors rather than far away in Asia, for example. And this was the reason for our decision to take European plant oils.
When we think about water stewardship, we didn't speak about water yet. Yeah, we have, let's say, we take the water out of our own sources. We don't take tap water. Most of the industry is just taking tap water. How many people in the world don't have tap water?
Exactly.
So we use source water. We are next to the Rhine. We take it out. We have our own water treatment center. We use our water. I will keep it short, Kim. But we use the water, let's say, to heat and cool down our building, administrative building. We bring it back in an inverse osmosis, taking out all minerals. So what we use then for filling, for producing our products. So having it complete, free of minerals and calc, it means our ingredients, surfactants have the full performance. So this is 95% of the use. Then the other 5% we need to clean our tanks, to rinse the pipes and everything. And of course there we are very precisely, we do the things in the right order, we do dry cleaning, tampon cleaning and so on, so that we have a minimum. But then when this water comes back to the water treatment center, we add iron chloride to it, what allows us to split off, in fact, the sewage sludge. And this sewage sludge, we gather it and we deliver it to a brick formation factory where they make bricks out of it. Bricks with a very high isolation coefficient. So I would say, and then we deliver it to the, let's say, the water sewage plant of the city of Mainz, which will make tap water out of it. So I think it's a real example of upcycling, let's say, source water, groundwater, for using it heating and cooling of a building, using it in performing products, and making brick formation.
And we are traditionally not following the typical footprint approach, because we decided just to become 100% effective. Because this leads to products without a footprint, without a negative footprint. Maybe we can create a positive one. Well, and this is exactly what is behind Cradle to Cradle, because this brings quality into the fore instead of just reducing bad things and to reduce the footprint. That is not enough for us. We want to have more. And this is not an invention of Cradle to Cradle in our company. This has happened in 2007 when we set our green care development guidelines, where all these quality issues or quality demands on a sustainable development has been set. This is a constitution that has been mentioned by Frank. And this constitution has to be fulfilled in the next years, more and more. The Cradle to Cradle is a valuable label now, a quality seal that can express all this effort we spent on this and the status we have reached, because the gold level is something really special in the Cradle to Cradle certification. We built up an own evaluation system where we can measure the quality of our raw materials. We exactly know the quality of each of our material. You know, this is an important task within a Cradle to Cradle certification. And we built this tool, what we call raw material identity card. And again, we exactly know the composition of each of the single ingredients within our cleaning products down to a concentration level of 100 ppm. And this is really low. This is really 1 part out of 10,000. And based on this well-defined material, so start with quality first. Based on this kind of material quality, we can build up cleaning formulation on a Cradle to Cradle platinum healthcare level, and this is really a unique positioning until now, and which we proudly show on our scorecard.
So when we look at the market, when we look around us, let's say there we are speaking about doing the things right. It's the efficiency part, the dosing equipment, the consultation we do for our customers so that they use the right products, that they use them in the right way, in the right concentration. Of course, our teams are doing this. We're offering also the dosing systems around it. But the step we go farther, it's not only doing the things right, it's doing the right things.
Yes.
Because through most of these dosing systems are going products which are not living in cycles.
Exactly.
And which are not produced with renewable energy. And that's the step we make. Doing the right things right.
My organization is doing two things. MVO Nederland is doing two things. We support and help companies to make next steps in the CSR. That's what we do. But another thing what we do is promoting companies which are inspiring examples for other ones. And today I learned that Weather and Match is such an example, and I promise here that I will use this example to stimulate other companies to go on this road. I'm really expressed by what you are saying. Not only by what you are saying here, but it's also one of the sentences in your papers is sustainability as a tradition. And that's what I really like. It is not a gimmick, it's not a marketing issue. Of course it's a marketing issue because you have to promote it, that's true. So don't hide away for that. But on the other hand, it is more or less, I think, already in your genes, family owned, long history. But it's not only policy, it's also practical and related to products and marketing, etc. So I'd like to express here that I not only, if necessary, support you, but also I will promote you.
Thank you.